Hey everyone, today is a fun and exciting day because we're going to change my trusty dual humbucker Strat into an HSS Strat using this brand new tunable split bridge solderless wiring harness. This new and unique variation of the HSS solderless harness was a collaboration between Kurtis at Lambertones and the wonderful crew over at Obsidian Wire. With this new harness, you can split the bridge pickup with a push-pull pot on the Tone 2 control, which isn't new in and of itself, but what's under the hood is what makes it truly special. Using this small trim pot, you're able to adjust just how much of that split signal gets sent to ground, which allows you to go from that typical super thin stratty split tone to a much fuller, warmer, and louder tone, so that everyone can find just the right spot for their ideal split humbucker sound. In addition to this tunable split feature, this harness is equipped with a 250K tone pot for the single coil pickups and a 500K pot for the bridge humbucker, so that each pickup is matched to the tone circuit it works best with. This harness also features Obsidian's new IGNEOS firm grip pots, which honestly feel great. They're a tad harder to turn, which actually helps eliminate those accidental bumps, and they're built with a stricter tolerance, just overall higher quality construction and durability. One of the really nice things about these is that they use a washer to prevent you from pushing the shaft through the pot when installing knobs, which admittedly I've done before. In this video, I'm going to show you how easy it is to swap pickups without the need for a soldering iron at all, which is actually kind of unfortunate since I really wanted to test out the Lambertone soldering station. But then after I install the pickups, I'll give you some sound examples of the split bridge humbucker set at multiple positions on the internal trim knob. And after that, I'll talk about how I'm going to give away one of these harnesses for free. Oh, and by the way, I'm using Lambertone's triple shots in the neck and middle and a crema humbucker for the bridge. As always, if you like what you see, would you do me a huge favor and like the video and subscribe to the channel so you can see more stuff just like this? I really, really do appreciate your support. Let's dive in. A few quick tips when installing this harness. Number one, if you've never owned an electric screwdriver for doing guitar work, you don't know what you're missing. This little rechargeable wireless battery-powered screwdriver is the bomb. You can pick it up at lambertones.com. Number two, the harness comes with washers, nuts, and even a new input jack, which is always good to replace when you're swapping your wiring. But a couple additional tools that are super handy to have is a 1/2-inch socket for the nuts. I personally love these plastic rocket socket nut drivers that you can buy over at stompboxparts.com. And another thing you'll need is a small, fine, flathead screwdriver to push down the connector button. Number three, now specifically for those who are installing triple shots and a crema like I am here, you can just follow the wiring diagram that came in the box. But if you're a paint by number kind of guy like me, you can screenshot this diagram and follow this if you'd like. Number four, now you could have just read the instructions for this, but it's an important point that you need to strip back the wire 1/4 inch exactly, or 6 millimeters. And then if it's a stranded wire, you need to twist the wires together. But if you have new pickups like these that use pushback wire, you can just push back 1/4 inch and be good to go. But the real important note is to put these wires in at a 45-degree angle while making sure you're pressing down on the connector button with that small screwdriver. Now, you don't have to like jam the button down, but just give it some good even pressure and then carefully put that wire in at 45 degrees. Then you can let go of the button and give the wire a little tug to make sure the connector has a firm hold on it. Number five, make sure you clean up the extra wire so the pick guard lays flat in the guitar. You can use some Velcro one wrap or small zip ties or something like that. Number six, this is a good tip. Once the pick guard is in place, before you screw it all down and put the strings on, go ahead and plug the guitar into an amp and test all the pickups. Just take your screwdriver or something metal and lightly tap on each pickup and make sure it's responding to the 5-way switch, make sure it's responding to the volume, to the tone knobs, and the push-pull knob. You'll hear the tone change enough even when tapping on the pickups to know if you've wired it all up correctly or not. Just make sure you don't scratch your pickups, of course. Once it's all tested, you can set that trim pot to where you think might be a good starting point for you. And hopefully the next part of this video will give you a little taste of the tonal differences of that trim pot. For this audio demo, I wanted it to be realistic. So instead of doing a very bland and scientific test, I dialed up some real world tones using my full pedal board. You'll see the effects and the pedals that I'm using at the top of the screen, as well as the pickup position and trim pot positions. Hopefully all of this helps you hear and experience what the trim pot does to the tone and feel of the split pickup. So as you probably noticed, with a compressor on and my Revenant, which is like a always-on tone shaper, and then also some of my overdrives on, and with delay and reverb into 2 tone X's with a slight bit of breakup on each one, there's a lot of compression going on, right? So in my rig, you might not have noticed much of like a volume difference between the trim pot settings, but I hope you could hear the tonal difference, which again was subtle, but I feel like it's still very, very helpful. For me, I've been using a crema in the bridge position for a while now, even before I had this harness, and I did split it a lot, and so I'm very familiar with that distinct, bright and thin, like regular split sound without the trim pot, which I enjoyed, and there's nothing inherently wrong with it. But now hearing it with the trim pot, I definitely see the benefit in having a tunable resistor in there to warm up that sound just a little bit. And so for me, after fiddling with it for several days, I actually ended up landing on a setting I feel works best for me, and that's just straight up in the middle. But here's the deal, and this very much needs to be emphasized. The great thing about this harness and having this variable resistor is that it will work with a fairly wide range of humbuckers. Now, Kurtis did say in a recent live stream I watched that it might not be best for like a super high output humbuckers, like something in the 10K range, but for anything between the 3, 4, and 8K range, this is going to work. And the setting that works for a 4K humbucker likely won't be the same setting you'd use for an 8K humbucker. Now, Kurtis and I tried for a while to nerd out on this whole thing. We tried to hack the math on what precise reading on the trim pot would yield the most ideal tone. And after taking measurements on the resistor at every single marker, writing down the readings, and comparing them to the real-world tones, at the end of the day, the numbers don't really matter. What matters is what you actually experience, and what you'll experience is that when you turn the knob to the left, to the quiet setting, the split tones will be thinner, a little brighter, and a bit quieter. Turning it all the way to the right will increase the volume a tiny bit, while also making the tone a bit thicker and fuller. So no matter what humbucker you're using this harness with, I'd just start with it right in the middle, play it a little bit, and then just ask yourself, do I like this tone, or would I prefer it a little thinner or thicker? And then just adjust from there. If you have any questions about this, make sure to drop it in the comments, because I think it would be helpful for the community to see those answers as well. Myself or Kurtis will get back to you really quick, and we'd love to see you pick up one of these and try it for yourself. Hey, like I mentioned at the beginning, I'm giving away one of these things, and so if you've got an HSS Strat or you want to get an HSS Strat, then do this. Follow me, the Tone Shepherd, and Lambertones and Obsidian Wire on Instagram, and watch out for the details of the giveaway there. If you're watching this video and the giveaway has already passed and you're sad about that, you can always sign up to win a free set of pickups that Lambertones gives away every other week on repeat. So go give your email to Kurtis over at lambertones.com to enter to win a set of pickups. And better yet, sign up for the texts so you get notified right away. Thanks so much again for watching this video, and again, please like and subscribe and do all that stuff if you want to. If you did like this video, then maybe you'd like some of the other stuff I have on my Instagram, so follow me there, and you can also check out my website if you'd like and snag some of the Strymon presets you heard in those demos, or take a look at my blog and some of the other resources I have there as well. Well, I hope this video helped you in some way. Be blessed, and I'll see you in the next one.